You're listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, a division of ABK Media Group, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County every day at 9 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of you around the world listening to the sound of my voice. Today is Thursday, December the 12th. It's a beautiful day here in Gwinnett County. It's about 40 degrees, only going up to about 49, so we've got some chilly weather and some rain coming later. So, I hate rain. Everybody knows I hate rain. If I had to choose between snow and rain, of course, I would choose the rain, but I would prefer neither. But anyway, it's a beautiful day here in Gwinnett. I am at the Paradigm Workhub here in Tequila, and I'm excited about that. I got the founder and the CEO of the Paradigm Workhub, which is a co-working space here in Tequila. But before I talk to Ms. Amber Lott, I'm going to do your horoscopes because I know you want to know what the stars have in store for you. So because I have such a great interview and we're live today, we're going to be talking about how you can get involved with Paradigm because I'm super duper excited about this. You heard me talk about it yesterday. I've probably been talking about it all week because I'm that excited about it. But anyway, before we do that, let's get into the horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen for today, December the 12th. We're going to start it out like we always do with Aries. Aries, don't let relatives stand in the way of your personal plans. You may be out of sorts if you have been extravagant or have let children or friends take advantage of you financially. This will be a great night to invite friends over to visit. Listen, stop letting people take advantage of you, Aries. That's why you be broke. I'm just saying. And it's not today. Taurus, you may not be happy if members of your family are not pulling their weight. Catch up on your correspondence and reading. You can have an enjoyable time if you socialize with friends. Catch up on some reading. We just recently started a book club. I'm super duper excited about that. I haven't been a part of a book club in a long time. I was a part of a book club one time when Zane first came out, the Sex Chronicles, and I swear I could not get past the first 3 pages. It was not exciting to me. I'm boring like that. I really, really like business books and inspirational books. So I dropped out of that book club real quick. Nothing against Zane, because she made a ton of money with her books, but just wasn't my thing. Gemini, you may not be happy if members of your family are not pulling their weight. Don't make unreasonable promises. Think about your budget before booking a trip. I know we all like to travel, right, Gemini? But you're going to need to think about it first. Make sure that you can afford it. You don't want to go on a trip. You want to go on a vacation. Stop tripping in vacation. If you can't afford to take a vacation, then postpone it. Cancer, you are best to do something energetic with friends instead. Romance is likely if you participate in unusual forms of entertainment. Now, Cancer, I don't have a clue what that could be, but just be careful. You would have a tendency to put on some pounds. Don't we all? It's the holiday season. What? We all have a tendency to do that. Leo, someone you live with is ready to play emotional games. Be careful. Your colorful conversation may attract new mates. You can develop your creative talents if you take the time to practice your art. I don't know. Colorful conversation. Now, I don't know what colorful mean, Leo. I have no idea what that means. But it sounds like if you do some colorful talking, you might drum up a little romance. Virgo, you have to believe in yourself and your talents. Your lover may cost you financially. Try to do things with your children that will enable you to bond closer to them. Let me just tell you something. Don't let anybody mess with your money, Virgo. Watch the coins. The lovers may not last, so hold on to your coins. All right, listen, we're going to go to a song. I'll be right back after this song to give you more of the horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen. You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show.
It's getting late, but I'm craving ya, and I can't wait till I'm right next to ya. It's not insane, you're so beautiful, I got no shame, 'cause I'm into ya. Baby, I don't know, how you feeling? Yeah, 'cause I want to show, let the night unfold. Drop your clothes down to the floor, only me and you. Wanna get a little crazy, down for it. Tell me what's next. I'll see you in a bit. I want a taste, just a little bit. Can't hardly wait to feel your poison kiss. Oh, baby, I don't know. I just want to show. Let the night unfold. Drop your clothes down to the floor. Only me and you, yeah. Wanna get a little crazy? Do you wanna get it on tonight? Wanna get a little wasted? Going on till the morning light. Wanna get a little crazy? Do you wanna get it on tonight? Wanna get a little wasted? Going on till the morning light. Until that morning light, yeah. Wanna get it on tonight? Wanna get a little wasted? Going on till the morning light. Until that morning light, wanna get it on tonight? I can't help the way I'm feeling. I can't help the way I'm feeling. I can't help the way. Oh, baby, I don't know. I just want to show. Let the night unfold. Drop your clothes down to the floor. Only me and you. Wanna get a little crazy? Do you wanna get it on tonight? Get it on tonight. Going on till the morning light. Till the morning light. Wanna get it on tonight? Wanna get a little wasted? Going on till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. Wanna get it on tonight? Wanna get a little wasted? Going on till the morning light. Till that morning light. Wanna get it on tonight? Tonight. Going on till the morning light.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show. It's so funny, right? Because the songs that's on my portable studio is different from the songs that's on my other studio. So I'm sitting here like, that's a good song. They're all my songs, but it's just they're different because they don't transfer over to my studios, which is weird because I open it up on my desktop, on my laptop is one studio, and I open it up on my iPad, there's another studio, but it's the same studio with different songs. So I'm always like, yeah, that's great. All right, so listen, let's pick it up. We're going to pick it up with Libra. Don't blame everything on your mate. Opportunities to make financial gains will develop through your connections with other people. You'll be able to break bad habits if you put your mind to it. Listen, I've been trying to break some bad habits for years. I'm still trying. Let me just say that, Libra. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't stop. Scorpio, your involvement in sports and entertainment will lead to new romances. Oh, you may want to make plans to take a vacation together. Home improvement projects will go well if you delegate work to all of your family members. Sound like you're going to have some romance and some fun tonight, or sports. I went to the Hawks game a couple weeks ago. I had a good time. It was nice. I'm looking forward to going again. Sagittarius, communications with loved ones may be strained. You can enhance your cash flow if you pick up additional skills. Jealous colleagues may try to undermine you. Okay, Sag, watch out for the backstabbers. Watch out for the backstabbers. They're sitting around the water cooler. Watch them. Capricorn, you'll be tempted to spend extravagantly today. Stop those bad habits. Your home improvement environment may be hectic. Which could result in emotional upset if you aren't well organized. A lot of us aren't well organized. I cleaned up my office last night. I was so excited about myself. Let me tell you, I've been trying to get to that for like days. And I was like, okay, before I lay my head down tonight, I'm going to clean this office up. And I threw away a bunch of, I'm a magazine junkie. People like coffee. I like magazines. I'm such a magazine junkie. I spend my money on magazines. Aquarius, problems with your mate will develop if you don't let them have their way, baby. Try to stay calm and understand both sides of the situation and avoid overindulgence. Don't spend too much. You might upset them today, Aquarius. You don't want to upset them. You know they're probably being babies. And my fellow fish Pisces, The existing problems must be dealt with one way or another. Secret affairs may be tempting. Listen, fish, we ain't doing that. I tell you all the time, if it's a secret, we shouldn't be doing it. There are no secret affairs for us today. Don't be tempted. I watched this show called Temptation Island. That's my guilty pleasure when it comes to reality TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my guilty. I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but that one is my guilty pleasure. Disappointments regarding partners will be subject to the way you react to their personal comments. Don't take it so personal today, fish. You know, we can get in our mood sometime, but don't do it. All right, listen, that's all the horoscopes I got for you today, brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen. I'll be back more again on Monday to bring you more of the horoscopes, but now we're going to get into our interview with Miss Amber Lott. So Miss Amber Lott is the president and CEO of Paradigm Workhub, which is a beautiful co-working space right here in Decula, Georgia, and I'm so happy to have her on the show today. Amber, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, Audrey, thank you so much for coming.
So listen, Amber was in corporate America, and I'm going to let her tell her story, but she took a huge jump, and I know there's a lot of people in corporate America who would like to take this jump, but before we get to how and why you took that jump, tell us a little bit about your background, where you were born, where you were raised, and things like that.
Oh, okay. I was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, home of the mountains and the Mormons, so pretty normal upbringing as far as school, large Mormon family. I grew up in the culture of the Mormons, and as an adult, I decided to not follow the religion anymore. But it wasn't really practical for me to stay in Salt Lake and continue not practicing Mormonism with all the family members and everybody around. So I decided to move to Georgia. I transferred from university out there to UGA. Go Dogs. And yes, I found my home in Athens, Georgia. I lived there for 8 years. Bought a house, started with a Budweiser distributor out of college, selling Anheuser-Busch products. So I just kind of fell into it. I worked in the restaurant industry, bars, mostly some waitressing, and just talked to the suppliers and ended up with a job right out of college in distribution.
You know, and it's so funny because I talked to a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds. And so when you first told me Utah, that's the first thing popped in my head. But I was like, I can't ask her questions about, her religion and how that, because when you think Utah, you think
the Mormons.
And
the mountains.
Right. So how was that experience leaving your family like that? Like, leaving, because I've seen people who have left their religions and their families, like the Amish people, and they get shunned and all kinds of things. So how was that experience?
So my family's pretty open.
Okay.
We have extended family that's not Mormon anymore or never was. So that was fine. I think it was hard for my parents to swallow that pill, but they've come around over the years. They're okay with it now. My brothers and sisters are still highly involved, but it's not my life choice, so they support it.
That's a good thing. When you have your family support, that's a great thing, because you don't want to be alone. You know what I mean? I think if we focus more, you guys are gonna find out, and they probably know my listeners. I'm very mushy. I'm a very mushy, romantic person. I am. I can't help myself.
That's good.
But, I feel like if we just had more love and acceptance, we would have such a beautiful place. Like, I ride through Gwinnett County. I love it here. And there are some places I'm afraid to go because I'm an African-American woman.
Absolutely.
I am. I'm not going to lie. When I was in Jersey, I wasn't afraid to go anywhere. I grew up in Newark. I was like, you go up in Newark, you got to have tough skin. But when I came here, there were just places I'm like, man, I would love to go there, but I'm afraid. And that's sad.
It's a reality of the world, unfortunately. Yeah. But people like you are changing it.
Hopefully. I'm making a dent somewhere.
Yes.
I talk about love all the time because I feel like if we had more of that and just more of just talking to people and learning about their culture, you would just be surprised at how much we are the same.
Yes.
Right? But how beautiful some of the cultures are.
Absolutely.
It was. I talk to people, a lot of different people, and I'm just amazed. And I watch a lot of different stuff. Like, I'm a big history buff, and I love all that stuff. I'm really like the other person. Like, listen, that's why I read the horoscopes. Hint, hint.
Right.
I'm the other lady. I like all that stuff. But anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get into this business stuff. So, you worked in corporate America for a while, and there are a lot of people who want to leave corporate America. We call them corporate dropouts.
Yes.
You became a corporate dropout. How did you make that leap? Like, that's a big leap.
It is a big leap. I think that after roughly 14 years, so I worked with one of the biggest brands in the world for 14 years, and I helped grow it in Georgia, specifically just the state. But it just got mundane. Even though the job was great, I had a good paycheck, I had nice benefits, but I was just kind of getting complacent and bored. So I thought, what can I do next? And then this just kind of popped in my head.
She said, what can I do next? A co-working space. This is a big venture. You know, I thought about doing it. I've looked at buildings when I came here because I knew that, you know, I didn't want to be alone. I've been working from home for 20 years.
Right.
Right? So that's alone for 20 years, you know, without getting out networking. So I do a little bit of networking. But for the most part, I'm behind the computer most days. So this has got to be an expensive venture.
It is.
Okay.
Yes. We definitely have had some challenges as far as, you know, we had to sit down and decide, my husband and I had to decide, you know, how are we going to do this? What can we put on the line and still be comfortable with? And then that went out the window. Because if it was comfortable, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
So, yes, finding the resources that you have and then looking for other resources, loans and, you know.
So did you take loans for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because now here's the thing about co-working spaces that I do like. There's a couple things. I like the fact that you can go there and you can be with other people. That's one. But I always think about that's a way to get into real estate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I look at those places, I'm like, that is a great way to get into it. I went to, about 3 years ago, I was looking for a space, and I went to North Point over in Duluth, right by the Sonesta Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
It's gorgeous. So the guy took the whole floor and just turned it into office spaces. So me, entrepreneur, I'm like, this guy is into real estate. Even though he had like one floor in this big old building, and he turned it into all these office, and it was beautiful, and everybody was so nice, and he had a full house.
Yes.
He had a full house, and I was like, wow, this is nice. But in my entrepreneurial mind, I'm like, this is being in real estate right here. So that was kind of cool too. And you look at the places like the salon suites, I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah, the Phoenix salon suites.
There's a bunch of them just popping up. But I think for the small business owner who, you know, I don't want to pay somebody all this money and I can only come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I used to go get my hair done all the time, and my stylists, they would close on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I was like, well, who closed on Wednesday?
Right.
Monday I get, Wednesday I don't get. So now you're here.
Yes.
Are there any regrets? Do you miss corporate America?
No regrets. Sitting in traffic, as we all know, in the Atlanta metro, because I do live out here in the burbs, and it was life-sucking, I think is a good descriptor when you sit in traffic every day. And then you think of the time that you sit in traffic. So even if you were only an hour in and an hour back, that's 2 hours a day times, 5 days a week, that's 40 hours a month. That's a part-time job.
It's a part-time job.
Just sitting in traffic. And those are on the good days when it only took an hour.
My poor husband works in Marietta.
Yes, then he feels
it. So he gets up really early in the morning. He gets there fine. It's not a problem. But coming home, it's like almost a 2-hour commute every day. And I feel so bad for him. And I said, won't you just, so it's a pharmaceutical company right in Winder. So won't you just try to get in that company? But they can't afford to pay him.
Yeah, but then, so my opinion of that would be different, which would be quality of life.
Yes,
right?
Mine too.
So you're saving hours really months of your life, a year, not sitting in traffic. And so even taking that pay cut, and you might save on gas and other things, or they might have some benefits that he could squeeze out a couple extra days of paid vacation a year. It's just talking to the right people. But yes, convincing people to change their habits, even when they're bad,
right,
is difficult.
Right.
Like no one likes to sit in traffic.
Right. But they do it.
They do it every day.
Every day. He does it. He's been doing it for 6 years every day, and I feel bad. But like you say, he has to come up, because me personally, I would like to listen. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm gonna take the cut, but he's not built like that.
Right.
I'm built that way. I'm built to just jump out in the water and can't swim literally at all, and have done that. So listen, so you were in sales, but had you done anything entrepreneur before sales? Because this is huge. Like, you went from corporate to big business owner.
Yes. No, I had done nothing. Nope. No. I think my downfall was probably starting to read some self-help books, which I had never done before. Okay. And as soon as I started to do that and open up my mind to possibilities, and not just think oh, I get a paycheck every 2 weeks,
right,
and I have benefits, and I'm lucky to have the job that I have. Getting past that was probably the hardest thing.
It's so funny, because when I first started out, I listened to Tony Robbins religiously.
Yes.
I had everything he made back then. I sat there one night and I watched, I think it was QVC or something, and I ordered all the stuff. And I kept ordering, and then I went to go see him live, and that was life-changing. I did the fire walk, everybody. I did everything. I was crazy, and it was so funny. I met this woman there. She was so nice. She was a gluten-free. Her business was gluten-free something, because she had celiac disease.
Oh, yeah.
And so we kind of bonded, right? You're crying, you're snotting all over everything. Tony has you crying. It was crazy. And we spent 4 days just clapping our hands, and it's like a cult, for real. But it was so cool. But I did the fire walk, and she did the walk. And they told you, don't think about it, just walk. So I made it through, and she stopped right in the middle. And she got burned.
Yes.
She just stopped. And I was like, why did you stop? She said, I don't know. She stopped right in the middle of the fire.
So
they had to take the water hose and put it. I was like, oh my God. So for the next day or so, she was kind of burned. But it was life-changing. And for me, that's how I really said, you know what? These things are possible. Who in the world? I was working at Verizon when I came up with the idea for that doll. It was just hey, do a doll. I'm like, what? Why would I do that? How am I going to do that? But I just hit the ground running. And so that sounds like what you did. You know what? I want to do this co-working thing. Let's just do it. And that's what you have to do. Now, here's the thing, Amber.
Yes.
Because you are an entrepreneur now, it's hard to go back. But then it's hard to kind of move forward sometimes, because you know too much.
Yes. And everyone tells you, well, you've never done that before. What do you, have you worked for a co-working space?
Right.
Have you, ran anything? Have you owned a company before, even a side business? Right. And no.
Right.
No.
Right.
But you figure it out.
You do. You figure it out. But there's a lot of models out here right now. So when you look at the WeWorks of the world, WeWork made it a sexy industry.
Right.
Industrious is making it even sexier. So WeWork bought Meetup. Did you know that?
Oh, they bought Meetup?
Yeah, they own Meetup, which I
okay.
thought was a great acquisition. I'm like, whoa, that makes sense.
Yes.
So that was a great acquisition, but they made it all sexy. But I think what that did was it opened up a lot of other entrepreneurs to say, you know what, I want to do this. I met a young lady in, I think she's in Norcross. Her space is so beautiful and girly.
It's for women only.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so pretty in there,
yes.
Right? And I went there, and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to come here, and I'm going to co-work here. But it was something I didn't like.
Right.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say what it was, but I was like, yeah, I can't co-work here. Right? They had signs, and, I'm not a swearer.
Right.
However, there may be a time that the show is not so family friendly. I might say a couple of words here and there, but it was a sign we don't do that here. I'm like, oh, okay. But anyway, she was very nice, and it was a very beautiful place. And she like you came out of corporate America.
Yes.
And she was saying how, she just wanted to do this. Now, she was struggling a little bit. I think I met you, the third woman-owned co-working space that I've met.
That's awesome.
There's one in Stone Mountain, and that one, I think she's in Norcross, but there's another woman who is in Norcross as well. She's over on Atlanta Tech Parkway.
Okay.
Hers is humongous. I think she owns the building, but she came out of like probably big corporate with like millions of dollars.
Right.
Because you could tell. Like it's huge.
Yes.
And so I thought that was amazing. So, but I didn't meet her, but I knew about it. I went there, I took a look at it because I was like, I don't want to drive way over there. And so I landed at the Cornerstone, and that's why I stayed. And when I go there, I'm like, this is cool. Culture not so great, but the people are great.
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a second because I visited a lot.
Yes.
I find that the one that I visited that I liked the most was Atlanta Tech Village.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta Tech Village is just nice, and the culture is great.
And was it women only or women and men?
No, it was women and men. It was co-ed, but it was like the ideas that's floating around. You could just feel the ideas floating around it. It was more like a collaborative place.
Yeah, I'm obviously all pro-woman, pro-women, and moving women forward, but I feel like when you say an all-working facility, it still limits, your progress.
Right.
And interacting with coworkers and, people in the community, which is kind of the point of a co-working facility.
You're absolutely right about that. Most of my businesses have been geared towards just women.
Yes.
And I struggled because of that. And then all of a sudden there were women groups everywhere. So now the competition was fierce. And so I decided, even with my podcasting business, I was going to launch Pod Chicks, and that was going to be the business. But God's like, what about us?
Right.
Right. What about us? And I was like, that's right. So now I got noisemakers.
Yes.
So now you could be a noisemaker. So the guys are included. But you're so right about that. So tell me about the culture here, because I came, I saw, I'm loving it.
Yes.
And so tell me, what do you see moving forward with the space? What would you like to see happen here?
So we just opened. We just opened a few months ago, and we've had several people come in for day passes and work from really all ages to all different jobs, even if they're work from home or stay-at-home people, remote workers. But we also have professionals. We have people that don't even have jobs, that are seeking jobs and don't want to hang out at the library and want to, connect with the right people or, talk to other humans that,
right.
Job hunting is a task. And to just hope that you get a job by putting an application in online these days is not
right.
Is not usually, it's always who you know, not what you know.
Absolutely.
And the more people you run into, and if you're wanting to be in an industry and a career instead of just a job,
right,
it's best to go to places that have those people around.
Absolutely.
And get to know those people.
Right, because listen, let me tell you something. When I moved to Georgia, everything was about relationship. Every single thing. And it was weird for me because in Jersey, we moved so fast. It was like, let's just get it done. We would come together, have one meeting, let's just get it done. Not here.
Right.
Everything is relationship based. You have to have lunch and coffee and dinner, get to know the kids, the husband, the dog. And I was like, oh my God, like, do I really have to do all that? But it has helped me so much. But when I first got here, I got to tell you, that was a struggle for me. I was like, what in the world? Why do these people want to have coffee all the time? Because it wasn't that in Jersey.
Yes, and where do you find the right people, right? Places like this are really perfect for that because they're here not only to work, but to, take little breaks and talk to the people around and not just further themselves, but socially it's a good outlet. If you're talking to your cat at home or your dog and expecting a response, then you should probably, come hang out here a few days a week.
That's right. Because, listen, we're going to be doing great things here. I'm super excited. So you heard me talk about it yesterday and probably the day before. So the Noisemaker Studio is going to be here at the Paradigm. Yes. I'm so excited. And it's so funny because Amber was talking about mindset and personal development a few minutes ago, and I put that out to the universe earlier this year. I was like, I'm going to be in a studio in 2020. I don't know how. I just know I am. And I'm telling you, I was like, let me go. And I talked about her on the show, I think, earlier. That's how I found out about you. It was like on Meetup or something. I'm like, I'm going to check that out.
Yes.
And
we met at the Meetup.
Right. And so I came to the Meetup. I'm like, I love this place. I love the atmosphere. And that's important because you want to be somewhere where you don't, it's not, well, unless you're a stuffy person. I'm not you can tell, you listen to the show, I'm not a stuffy person. And I don't want to be in a stuffy place where people don't talk to each other. I can stay home and talk to my dog.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And the dog is going to bark and just roll over in front of the heater or something crazy. But it's a great space, and you guys got to come out and check it out. You know, she's located at 1862 Auburn Road right here in Decula. And the atmosphere is great. That's what I love the most about it. And she's great. Like, she's so wonderful. Like, I was like, she is really cool. Like, and you don't find
I'm blushing right now.
Because she is. Listen, I've been to these places. You just heard me saying some of them places like, nah, I can't. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't care how good the fees are. It's not going to happen. But I
have great fees.
Right. And they have great fees, by the way. So now you got children.
I do. I have 3 young kids.
Ooh, how young?
8, almost 6, and actually my 3-year-old's birthday is today. She
turns
turns 3.
And you're here with me?
Yeah, well, you know, she's 3. So.
Now I feel guilty. I told y'all I'm a mush. Like, oh my God, you got to go home with the baby. So how do you balance it all with 3 children?
Well, tonight will probably be at Chuck E. Cheese or someplace.
Okay. All right.
You know,
I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, and I have a great mother-in-law that watches her, and some days I think that she might love her more than me.
Ooh, let me tell you, I've been down that road, girl. That was painful. My daughter was in 2nd grade, and I had just really got started deep, and I was working and trying to run a business. And I remember getting a note from her school, and so I go into the school, and it's like, yeah, what's going on? I was like, well, her grades are slipping. And I was like, oh, what's wrong? This is me. What's wrong? And it's like, well, she said you work all the time. Oh, my God, Amber, I cried like a baby. Like, my friend thought something had happened. I'm such a terrible mother. I'm, like, crying like a freaking baby.
That is the mom guilt maxed out right there.
I was maxed out. But what I did was I had to learn how to balance that. So when she was home and awake, it was just all her time.
Yes.
And when she went to sleep, which was like about 8 o'clock, from 8 to 4, I would work at night to 4 in the morning. And then I would go to sleep and get up at 7 and take her to school and start all over again. But I had to learn how to do that because I felt like such a horrible mother. And I had a friend she had a home daycare, and she was amazing. And I would go pick my child up, and she would run from me. I was like, oh, my God, I'm so bad, you know.
No, I completely understand. When I go home, I turn off all work until the kids are in bed because they need those few hours of, you know, eye contact,
right,
quality time. Yeah. I mean, even if we're watching TV, it's all together.
Right. And so a lot of people would say there's no such thing as balance, and maybe not. I don't know. Make some adjustments. Let me say that. You got to make adjustments.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I met your husband.
Oh, yeah.
I met Matt. He seems to be very supportive. And let me tell you something. You need somebody in your corner who understands who's going to support you.
Yes. He thought I was crazy, I think. But he's come around.
Yeah. Like because this is really a great investment. And I believe that because it's where it's sitting, I believe it's going to be bustling.
Yes.
Because it's a beautiful place. I think the culture is great. And he'll be happy later.
Yes, well, and the community is great.
And the community
this area is full of amazing people that do amazing things. Yeah. Really charitable, and really connected, surprisingly. I was on the other side of Lawrenceville for a while, and, you know, I didn't know but 2 of my neighbors, and we lived there for 8 years. Not for lack of trying, but some areas are friendlier than others. I in my opinion, and that doesn't go for everything. But this side of town has been really, really nice.
Okay, Amber, you kind of pulling me over because I've been in my neighborhood for 6 years, and I know one neighbor's name, and he's just been about 7 months.
Yeah,
but he was really friendly, and even though I'm like, hey, you know, waving to people. It's like, and I'm like, what is that about? You know, because I grew up I was born in Albany. I was raised in Newark, but back then, everybody knew everybody.
Yes.
And everybody talked to everybody.
Yes.
Not so.
Yes. I also, that was also my upbringing, and I think that a lot of that came from the Mormon community because for the majority of all of your neighbors around you, they also are Mormon, and they all go to the same church at the same time every Sunday. So everyone within your immediate vicinity on, you know, the next 4 or 5 streets over and 3 or 4 streets the other way, everybody would go to the same meeting place at the same time every week. So everybody knew everybody.
Yeah, and I like that, actually. I mean, I'm country. Like, I'm country at heart. Like, I really, really am. Like, people don't think so, but I really am. And I like that whole community thing. So, for me, it's like, I still don't feel like community yet. Like, I love Gwinnett. I still don't feel like I belong to the community yet.
Right.
And I think it's because I haven't found my community yet. But I'm getting there. I'm going to find it this year. I have so many moving parts till it's not just me. So I have all these other things to consider because I have such a huge family living with me. So it's like I need to find 4 bedrooms on the first floor because, you know, we can't have stairs. And, I have a lot of parameters just in the way. And but I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that because I'll be here all day talking about that. Anyway, so you got other people who may want to become corporate dropouts. Any advice for them?
Absolutely. My advice would be to don't let your fear, I'm sure you've read this, heard this a million times, don't let your fear hold you back because that will hold you back. Don't let the people that are closest to you stop you because they're the ones that will stop you. And just press on through the adversity.
Do you think your career in sales helped you a lot with launching Paradigm?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many different personalities I worked with over the years, and just people saying no over and over and over. So if you're in sales, you know what I'm talking about.
We all listen. If you're in business, you're in sales.
Right.
Here's the thing: a lot of us don't know how to sell.
Right.
So Amber's probably going to be doing some workshops here on how to sell.
Yes. I mean, even if it's good for their business and even if it completely makes sense to you, you can still run up into people that say no.
Right.
And it could be free sometimes.
Yes.
And they would still say no.
Yep.
And free making them profit and still say no.
Right.
So
why do you think that is, though?
You think that people aren't out there like that, but there are.
But why do you think that is? Because I've run into people like that. When we launched the TV network, we was like, hey, it's free. And nobody would come up. And then we would get so upset. Why do you think people say no to free stuff?
Probably because they have been approached by so many salespeople that they've either been burned somehow by it being presented as free and then not being free, or something along those lines, or they just don't like salespeople. I met with several people that from day one, you could tell that they just hated salespeople, and yet they owned a business and had to sell something.
Right.
Which was the irony of it all.
How the heck did that mean? Because you said you were selling to restaurants, right? Like
restaurants, bars, hotels.
How could they say no? They didn't want the brand? That's what it was?
They didn't want the brand. They didn't want the free product of an unknown brand. It was.
Listen, I'm trying to get me a brand. Now listen, I'm not a drinker. I'm a lightweight for real. Like, I'm a Moscato. Let me tell you how much I'm not a drinker. I drink Moscato. I tell people that, they laugh at me. And I drink a half a glass of that. But I want a drink, a signature drink called Noisemaker.
Oh.
Yeah. So listen, don't steal my idea, but I'm going to get that drink. I don't know if it's going to be a beer. I've never drank beer. I drank it one time. I didn't like it.
No, beers don't make you make noise. You got to go with some hard liquor.
Hard liquor. that I won't be drinking because I can't smell it and make me drunk. But anyway, so tell people again how to reach out and come over and get a free day pass and check you out over here. And listen, the Noisemaker Studio is going to be coming in January.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Yeah, you can come over. You can call. Our number is 678-804-9845. But you don't have to call. You can come. I am here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Stop in, take a tour. If you don't want to tour in, just come work. We have plenty of workspace right now. If you need a private office, I have one private office left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you want a permanent desk, we have those. So lots of different workspaces, lots of quiet areas, and we're a lot of fun.
We're sitting in a beautiful room right now. It's really cozy and quaint. And I was in here like, this would be a great podcast studio, but I can't take this space. But I was just saying to myself, this would be great. But anyway, guys, listen, Amber, thank you so much for doing this interview with me today. I'm so looking forward to working with you and being here with you in this space. Listen, if you guys want a nice culture and a beautiful place, come and check us out. Look, I'm saying us. Come and check us out at right. Paradigm Workhub right here, 1862 Auburn Road in Decula. That's all I got for you today. My time is up. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent the last 41 minutes with me. I'll be back again on Monday to bring you more about what's going on in and around Gwinnett County and another great interview next week. I'm talking to another politician. I know, right? Oh, I know. But anyway, check it out next week. I'll be back. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And remember to be safe out there. And until next time, y'all, make it a great day. Bye now.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in daily at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you miss an episode, go to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com to catch up. If you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the show now and share it with your friends.